Just so you know, I am very strategically trying to avoid this mess in the corner and my washing and everything else. Okay, so hi guys, I'm Rhiannon Edwards, a fantasy author, and today I am bringing you the tools that I use to write. So we're talking all the way from planning those first few outlines, all the way to marketing and promotion. So I'm going to talk about all the different things that I use and how I put together a novel and sell it. So let's get into today's video. I've split this video into 5 sections, although I don't think I am capable of doing the sectioning it off underneath, but I will try and write down where those sections come in the description, so have a look down below in case you're interested in only 1 or 2 parts of this. But we're going to look at planning, we're going to look at writing, editing, publishing, and then promotion and marketing together. So 5 different sections. So the first section is planning. So what do I use to plan my outlines? Well, the first thing I do is actually old school, old fashioned, is I have a big paper, washi tape, pens, highlighters, and I get down all the ideas that are swimming through my head. I've used big spider diagrams, I have made grids on my page, I've also got a big long roll of paper that I've been using to split into the 3 acts. I've also written onto note cards before and put them onto my board, and just all those different kind of things that really I can be a little bit wider with than when I'm just typing on a computer. But that being said, once I have done a lot of that wild work, I then draw it down, draw it together into a Word document, and that's where I have done most of my planning. In the past, I have literally just written a list of chapters or scenes that I want to include. At the moment, I'm trying to do something a little bit more involved, which involves splitting things down into the correct structures that I am using, but more on that another time. So what planning method do I use? Well, a bit of a mix at the moment. So I've been looking into the 3-act, 9-block, 27-chapter outline. I've also been looking into Abby Emmons' 3-act structure. She has a really clear playlist about how she plans a book. That's really, really good. I'd go and check that out. Also, Sarah Cannon's on her Heart Breathings channel, she has a planning a novel playlist, which I found really helpful as well. And I've also been using Save the Cat Writes a Novel. So at the moment I'm doing a mix of all of those together, and that's how I am planning. But essentially it boils down to a 3-act structure, which pretty much all stories from when they first started being told have a beginning, a middle, and an end. It goes a little bit more in depth in that and like certain beats and certain scenes, but essentially that's what it boils down to. So that's pretty much the things that I use in the planning stage. So the second section we're going to talk about is the actual drafting, and it's probably the shortest section in terms of tools. So I actually just use Word. That's all I use to write my novel in. And whilst I am writing in Word, I might also use, I have just picked up the Emotion Thesaurus. Now that probably be something that I might use a little bit in editing as well, so it sort of crosses the boundaries between drafting and editing. But the Emotion Thesaurus I thought was a really good buy, because it's sometimes difficult to show some emotions without just telling them when you're writing a novel. So I think that'll come in really, really handy when you're writing. So technically I haven't used this one yet because I'm not in the drafting phase since I bought it, but I do think it will be a good asset to my writing. And the last tool that I use for writing is sprints. I love sprints. I think since I started writing in sprints, I have made a lot of progress. So in case you're wondering what a sprint is, don't worry, it's not running. I don't do running of any kind. But a sprint is when you set aside a chunk of time. It depends on how you work, but I think for me, like a 20-25 minute sprint is perfect. So I set my timer for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then I just write for that time. And then the timer goes off and you have a 5-minute break. Inevitably, my breaks are a little bit longer, but That's the whole point, is you have a section of time. And actually, when I have an open-ended amount of time, I can sort of like faff about with, what do I write next? What do I go? How do I start this sentence? When you're on a timer, you just write. And I have found that so helpful in that I just focus on getting the words out. It doesn't matter if the words aren't particularly great, because that's what editing is. And I am a big fan, a big believer in that you can't edit a blank page. I would rather have something to edit than nothing, even if eventually all of what you've written gets edited out and you write a whole new paragraph. I find my writing is much stronger that second time around, because I've already got the bones of it, and now I'm adding the meat, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Okay, let's move on to section 3, which is editing. So I might write in Word, but when I am sending my document off to beta readers or alpha readers, I actually use Google Docs. I like Google Docs because it's free for a start, and when they add comments or make some suggestions, you can see it as they go, which is brilliant for when you're editing. I would need to add on a lot of extra time to in my plan if I was doing it, just giving it to them and then giving it to me back, because it means that I can address the first few chapters while they're working on say chapters 5, 6, 7, 8. If I've got chapters 1, 2, 3, 4, I've already got their feedback because I can see it as they go, which is brilliant. So I mean, I probably should say for editing, yes, there's different stages and different steps that you might use for editing, but I'm just talking about the different tools that I use. And the first tool that I really use for editing is, as I say, the Google Docs. I have also used things like Fiverr for beta reading, developmental editing and copy editing. I've just actually taken on a new editor, and so far she is really, really good. I really, really like what she's done so far. She edited my my prequel short story that's coming out next month for free for my subscribers. So if you're interested, go and check out the link down below. And she's more expensive than I've usually paid for, but I think she is well worth it. Okay, so that's really it for editing, because there aren't really many tools apart from your head and just writing. I know some people prefer to print their document out and edit as they go, or like by hand, and that's great, but I don't. That's just a lot of paper, and it would take a lot of time. I prefer to edit on my screen as I go. Although I am a fan of proofreading a hard proof. I just think it's a different way to read and you pick up a little bit more. But that leads us nicely into the next section. So tools that I use for publishing. This is section 4. Okay. This is probably one of the longest sections, but the first thing is that I use KDP, so Kindle Direct Publishing, and I use D2D, which is Draft to Digital, to publish my stories. Now, so that means that I'm wide, by the way. I am not just limited to Amazon because I'm not in Kindle Unlimited. And that's a whole nother story, because I used to be in Kindle Unlimited, but I'm not anymore, so I have gone wide. So they are the two platforms that I use to publish on. I do my own formatting. A bit of a complicated reason why. Well, not really, but I'm not going to go into that now. But I have to say that Bethany Attisadea's playlist on formatting was really instrumental in me formatting my own work, so I will link that down below as well. So I've used her playlist. That's another tool that I used. So also in publishing, you've got to think about your cover. I normally get the cover commissioned quite a little while before I publish. Quite a little while. Well, that doesn't make sense, Rianne, does it? I normally commission the cover a good couple of months before I release the book, and I use Fiverr. I have been using someone on Fiverr since I went professional. By professional, I mean not me. And I absolutely love the work that she does. In fact, her latest cover for my prequel short story is amazing. It's my favourite cover. I sort of want that to be on my main series. But it is phenomenal. In case you haven't seen it, it was at the beginning of this video, and I'll also add it here. So other tools that I might use in the publishing phase, things like ARCs. So send a few copies off for free in the hopes of getting some book reviews. I've not really utilised this as much as I would like to in the past, but it is definitely a brilliant tool to use. I know it means that some of your reviews won't be verified when it comes to Amazon, but the more reviews you get, the more seen you get, and it just works overall. So arcs are a good thing. I also use Goodreads, not very well, admittedly. I don't even think my third book is up there. Whoops. But Goodreads is a good place to go. Also website, updating your website. I do recommend having a website, even if it's just one of those free ones. It's just a place to direct your readers to where your work is. Also your newsletter, if you have one. I am starting to grow my newsletter subscribers, and that'd be a great way to sort of reach out to potential readers when I have a new book release. That's definitely a big part of publishing. And I also cannot get through this section without talking about Publish and Thrive by Heart Breathings and Bethany Atisadea's course on, is it pronounced Udemy? I don't know. Both those courses are really helping me with publishing. So Sarah Cannon's is the big paid course that I did in like February 2021 now, and it is just mind-blowingly full of information. She's actually in the process of refilming the whole course to add in more information. She keeps up to date with everything, and I would say a lot of where I'm going is from that course. A lot of the information, a lot of the support that I get from other people on that course is phenomenal, and Sarah herself. So that has been instrumental in publishing. So I cannot get through a tools video without talking about the Publish and Thrive course. And then also I've just started taking, Bethany's course on Udemy. I don't know how to say that. Some of the course is like taking bits from all over and compiling it into an easy way. I absolutely love Bethany's YouTube videos. I think she's really clear in how she talks about things. But this course, it is paid. It's not that expensive. I think it's something like $15.99, or it was when I got it. I think it might have been on offer then. But it's just nice to have like a process to follow, and she does share her process in how she publishes. So I think that is a good shout if you want to sort of start there and work your way up potentially. So that is the publishing section. I think that's all the tools that I use on publishing. So let's go to section 5, which is the marketing and promotion. This is a big section, okay, because I think you could split it into subsections, into like promoting your book or promoting yourself. I mean, it could go on forever, but let's just lump it all into one big category, shall we? So this is still a big part of writing, especially if you're a self-published author. Like this whole section comes under your umbrella, just your umbrella. So you don't get to share it with anybody. It's just yours to do by yourself. So let's get into the tools that I use for marketing and promotion. So the biggest things about marketing is about marketing yourself and your books. So I am currently mostly on Instagram, but I do also have just started TikTok. I have my website, I have my newsletter, and I do have Facebook, but I'm not on there very often. So what does that all mean? I have no clue. I'm not a social media expert. Just editing me popping on because I did not talk about this book, and this book is part of my marketing and promotion strategies. So this book is by Bethany Atisadea and Mandy Lynn, and I did originally read it on Kindle, but I found I was referencing it quite a lot, so I wanted to get the actual hard copy. And it is really good, a really good tool for learning how to promote your work without seeming like too salesy, and just some ideas about how to pitch your work in different ways. So I totally recommend this book. I think the other books in the series are quite good as well, but this is my favourite. So editing me just wanted to pop on and show you that. I subscribe to a company called Lemon Friday on Instagram. They are specifically for authors, guys. They are brilliant. So what Lemon Friday do is they're multifaceted, I think. So you get caption prompts for you could do one every day of the month. You also get caption pictures and caption ideas for picture ideas for the different captions. You get like a workbook and bonuses. You get like reel ideas, you get story templates, all that kind of stuff. And then the biggest thing I think is they do a masterclass each month, and I love these masterclasses. I think they just really tie things together a little bit. So I pay about £20 for that a month, and I know that might seem a lot, but when you're so new and you don't really know what to post, like that, it has actually been really good, or it sparks off an idea. I can't say that I follow it to the letter because I don't. I always mash things up with other things, but it's a really, really good place to start, especially as it's just focused for authors, and that's really hard to find. A lot of these like social media experts you get online, it's really hard to match your area, so writing and books, to that, because it's all about small businesses, which I know we sort of are, but I find it hard to match it over. So I just like the fact that Lemon Friday are solely for authors. Now, if you are a bit unsure, go and follow them over on Instagram. They offer up a lot of helpful tips throughout the month. They also sometimes offer like freebies, like a little free snippet of what we might get in the Lemon Friday toolkit. And I just love them as people as well. They're brilliant. So then we also move on to, let me see if I can get this right, Daniela. So I've just come across her on Instagram as well, and she does she has like a content calendar for a whole year with some really good ideas for stories and for posts as well. I think it was about $40, and she has some really good tips online. So I really enjoyed coming across Daniela. I've also got my own newsletter, which should be a big part of your strategies for marketing and promotion. Although I am still learning about newsletters, it's still really early days, but I know that's a big part of publishing, so that is a big tool. And that's another thing, moving on to YouTube videos as a tool for publishing and promoting and marketing, is there are so many authors on there that are sharing their journeys, their tips, and they are absolutely fantastic. Sarah Cannon is one of my favourite authors for this. She runs her own Heart Breathings channel, and it's just amazing for authors. So go and check that out as well. I'll leave all the links down below for you. But they are some of the biggest tools that I use to write and publish books. I hope that's been helpful. If you did find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. But let me know down below what tools you use, and if you use anything differently to I have, because I know there are so many things out there. I know people use like Scrivener and Grammarly and Pro Writing Aid and all of that I haven't come across yet, because my brain can only handle so many new things at once. So that's all from me today. They are my tools for writing, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.